This is the Tulsa, a Tier 8 American premium cruiser. It's the main reward for the Always Courageous campaign. And yeah, it is a cruiser with massive firepower potential, with pretty good armor around its hull and really fast reloading main guns, and can really dish out the damage, as we're going to see in the highlight video. So with that, let's get into the setup of the ship and the commander, who is Einstein. Base trait is whirlabout, and improves the cruiser's gun traverse speed. And the one thing about the Tulsa is stock. It has a 30-second traverse speed of the main gun, so you do want to quicken that up a little bit, especially on a cruiser. Inspirations, first one is Riegerwald, which improves the cruiser main battery reload time and the cruiser's AP shell damage. And then we have Charles Madden for the last inspiration here, which improves the main battery traverse speed and its reload time. So with this build, we are looking to improve the traverse speed and reload time of the main guns. For the first skill, we have Ingenious, which improves the cruiser gun traverse speed yet again, and it improves the incoming splash damage, which is a thing, believe it or not. It also shows a warning indicator for the number of enemy ships currently targeting your ship with their main batteries, and that is pretty darn useful. Second skill is Intuitive, which improves the sonar duration and the radar duration, and you do have both of those available here in the Tulsa, so that is big time. Instead of one or the other, you got both of them. And it also, most importantly probably, it shows the direction of the closest enemy ship. Then we have Punch Through to really help out the armor piercing, which improves the cruiser's main gun AP shell damage and its penetration multiplier. Then we went with Fixated on the fourth skill, which improves the cruiser's main battery shell grouping and its dispersion. And then we went with Refill Station for the legendary skill, which improves the cruiser's main battery reload time. The special effect improves the cruiser's main battery range by another 10% when you're within 2 kilometers of an allied ship here at legendary rank 2. Going up to legendary rank 4 will increase that up to 3.5 kilometers. All right, let's check out the upgrades for the ship. And here, first upgrade, I went with Main Battery Mod 2 to help out the main battery traverse speed, improves that by 20%. Next upgrade is Propulsion Mod 2, which cuts in half the time taken to reach full power. And then here we went with Concealment System Mod 1, which improves the detectability range and the incoming fire dispersion, and this doubles up on your fully upgraded camo or skin. And then here we went with a legendary mod, Main Battery Mod 3, which improves the main battery reload time, but it does take a hit on the main battery traverse speed. And for every 30,000 damage here, the epic mod, the epic part of this mod, the epic boost, improves the main battery reload time by another 2%. That can ratchet up 5 more times if you get 150,000 damage, and that would improve that another 10% for the main battery reload time. Legendary boost: for every ship that you destroy, your main battery shells will deal an extra 5% of damage, and that ratchets up 5 times as well. So you get a Kraken, you can max that out. Let's check out the loadout. High explosive shells and armor piercing shells, which we will get into in a bit. Consumables is a damage control party. Duration is 5 seconds, reloads every 57 seconds, and there's an unlimited number of those consumables. And the second consumable is either the sonar or the AA defensive fire. I went with the sonar here. Torpedo detectability is 3.3 kilometers. Detectability of ships is 4.7 kilometers. And the duration is 102 seconds with a reload time of 171 seconds. And you have 2 of those consumables. You also have 2 radar consumables. Range is 9 kilometers to detect ships. Duration is 36.8 seconds. Reloads every 142.5 seconds, and you have 2 of those consumables. Repair party consumable will partially restore the ship's HP by repairing any light damage at the rate of 213 hit points per second. Duration is 28 seconds. Reloads every 76 seconds, and you have 2 of those consumables. And here I'm using all epic mods across the board, all the epic boosters that is, and this could change depending on the match. Ship does come with a Type 9 Premium Permanent Camouflage, which sea detectability and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5% respectively. Specs: survivability hit points is 42,700. Armor is 16 to 203 millimeters. Torpedo damage reduction is 13%. Artillery, you have 6 guns, 203 millimeters. Firing range is 15.8 kilometers. Reload time is down to 4.7 seconds, and the traverse time, as I said earlier, it started out at 30 seconds. We've cut that in a third. It's down to 20 seconds. HE shell damage has a maximum of 3,000 with a 14% chance of setting fire. Armor-piercing shells have a maximum of 5851, and you do have 12 secondaries on the ship. AA defensive fire is 77, but any American ship seems to have pretty good AA, and it's a good chance that you will clear the sky with the Tulsa if you're in a match with an aircraft carrier player that wants to try that out. Maneuverability, maximum speed is 34 knots. Turning circle radius is 750 meters, and rudder shift time is 10.5 seconds, and is definitely not an agile build. Concealment, detectability range by sea is 10.7 kilometers. Range by air is 6.7 kilometers. And while firing in the smoke is 7.1 kilometers. And here is the armor view. The ship is coated with 27 to 28 millimeter armor, and it will cause 380 millimeter and lower caliber shells to ricochet, I'm guessing at appropriate angles, and that is 15-inch or smaller shells will definitely ricochet on the Tulsa. So you go up against, for example, in Alaska, which we're going to see in the highlight video, and a lot of those shells are going to be ricocheting, and you will simply overwhelm your opponent. So let's check out the Citadel anyway. And little bit is sitting above the water. Yeah. 76 to 160 on the sides there. But yeah, safe to say, don't go out in the open water and give big time battleships a chance, and you may survive the battle. Overview. The ship has an above average main battery reload speed, and yeah, it is definitely a reloader, and it has a reduced chances of ricochet, which have a greater chance of penetrating enemy ship armor at sharper angles, and it is a sticky shot. It's also hidden with good concealment, and it means that the ship can get closer to enemies before being detected. Tulsa is a heavy cruiser similar to the Oregon class, but armed with 6 8-inch 203 millimeter automatic main battery guns, and that no doubt is why it reloads so quick. Year of design is 1951, and it doesn't look like there were any ships in the series. All right, well, that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out in a standard battle and check out some highlights. We are in Tears of the Desert, and look at that. We are starting right out in the open water, but Tears of the Desert does have many small islands that we can try to get behind. At least one of them for some cover, and that's what I'm going to look to do here, is start out and go right for an island for some cover. Definitely do not have an agile build, so we will not last very long out in the open water. But look at this. It is all cruisers and one battleship on the red team. The blue team has all cruisers, so this is a truncated match. In some ways we're down a little bit because the red team has more firepower with that battleship, but with all the cruisers out there, maybe we can clean up, take care of business, and yeah, go one-on-one against a bunch of cruisers and maybe wipe a lot of them out. So we are gonna go straight ahead at full speed for this island up here, and yeah, we're not moving all that fast, but we're doing the best we can. And the quick reloading main guns, I really like that quite a bit. And the Tulsa, the campaign ship, is definitely worth $10 if you're playing every day. Here I'm reminding myself of the main gun range. Look like 17.4 kilometers main gun range right there. And I found this to be a great ship, and you can basically overwhelm your opponent with the really quick reloading main guns, and that is the thing I really like about the ship quite a bit. You don't have that many main guns, but they seem to do the job nonetheless. And when you're going up against cruisers, you can definitely switch to AP eventually and citadel the heck out of them. But there, that Worcester cannot even see us, so this is perfect for us because he's over the island. We are getting some hits, and the Tulsa is extremely accurate. That is the one thing that I like about the ship. It's extremely accurate, and that is, you know, we're not using Scott for an inspiration at all here. And there we got 3 citadel hits. We got the first blood medal, and that Worcester was quickly destroyed, and we've racked up 28,000 damage already. Here you can see that the legendary epic boost has turned on, so you don't need to go through an epic boost before the legendary boost turns on. And there we've gotten our 30,000 damage, so the epic boost is turned on. So we've got the first stage of both boosts here within less than 3 minutes in the match, so the Tulsa can definitely dish out the damage big time. 19 main gun hits so far. And I'm not really looking to move right out here in the open water just yet. The Alaska looks pretty good, broadside like that. There's 2 Alaskas, it looks like right there. So yeah, definitely within range. So that's the other thing about the Tulsa, is it has a longer range, maximum range, than say the Salem. I think the Salem's maximum range is only 15 point something kilometers, and there will be a review video about that ship coming up in the next week or so. And believe it or not, the Salem got a higher XP at the end of the match, so look forward to that. They're both great ships, but the Tulsa, for 2,500 doubloons with Admiralty backing here, you cannot go wrong with that ship. So yeah, the match isn't even over with, and I'm telling you that much right now. That's really how I feel about the ship. The ship is a great ship. Of course, you got to get in the right kind of match, though. So if you're out in the open water and you get focused by the entire red team, and there's 9 guys instead of 5, you might have a different result. But this game basically seems to be showing the best qualities of the Tulsa, actually.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
So yeah, it's an epicenter match, and we are starting to capture the epicenter, so that is all good. There's that battleship way on the other side of the map. I don't have to worry about him. And all right, so the match is evened up right there. So one of my teammates is gone. Yeah, I'm not really sure about marching right in the middle of the mix right at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the match, but I know a lot of people do it. In some cases, I do it when I'm in a destroyer, when I think that there are no other destroyers in the base, and I go to try to capture the base. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you can see here that I'm staying under cover and backing up a little bit there because you know, in Alaska is kind of big time. I almost think that that is, for the most part, a battleship with in a cruiser body, actually. So the Alaska is definitely a ship that acts more like a battleship. It's very hard to citadel in Alaska. I can't remember any time that I've ever citadeled in Alaska, even in a battleship. It's not to say it won't happen, but the ship has great armor, and fire seems to be the best course of action here on the Alaska. And you can see that the Tulsa has a great high arcing fire, can definitely get above the islands. So here I'm adjusting a little bit and going forward and just focusing on the Alaska. Looks like he's backing up to try to get out of our main gun range, but these guns are so accurate that he is definitely in big trouble. There's another fire that gets started. And yeah, backing up. A lot of people do it, but it is not, if you're in a mode where you got to back up, you're kind of in trouble, I think. So we are over 50,000 damage already. And we're getting ready to activate the second mode of the epic boosts there with 60,000 damage, just 7,000 more damage. So here's the other Alaska, but he's 19 kilometers away. Here's the Pommern that is definitely within range, but he's focused on my teammate up here. So that is good for us. And we're going to focus on the Pommern and try to work on that guy. And it's kind of surprising that he is marching into the base like that, even though the game is even at this point. The match is even. As far as ships, we are ahead a little bit, I guess.
Requesting fire on the designated target.
Because we've captured part of the epicenter. So here we've activated our second epic boost.
Our victory is in sight.
All right, so yeah, we are focusing on that guy. 2 cruisers against the Pommern. How is it going to work out for the guy? Possibly not too well. So I can't decide right here if he's aiming at me or not, but I think when you see this next salvo, he's aiming at my teammate. And there, looks like we took out his torpedoes, so he can't come in and torpedo us at the moment. And he's still focused on my teammate, which is great. So I'm going to come around here on the other side of the island, and we are really racking up the damage and the flags here. Look at that, the ribbons that is. And we're up to 72,000, 73,000 damage. And all right, so it's evened up 2 ships apiece, and it's an Alaska and a Pommern against 2 cruisers here. So I have to be very careful. It's kind of like one-on-one ranked match, I think is what those were, where it was 1 ship aside, and it was mano-y-mano, and we're going to get to that here in a second. There's the Alaska on the other side of the island, and here's the Pommern. I think he plans to come around and take us out with a broadside hit, or possibly a torpedo, but I'm being very careful about when I go forward here. I don't want to wait too long, but I want to wait long enough so I can get the rear guns to at least hit the Pommern. And it looks like I can still hit him with the back guns. Got the radar going, just so I can make sure that I know where the Pommern is. And yeah, at this point I am definitely thinking that this guy can likely take me out just like that right there. And you can see he dinged me for a little bit, but we do have a lot of health at this point. And yeah, we're just going ring around the rosy here, but then I have to worry about getting in a crossfire with this Alaska here. So I'm going to hold up. And there's some torpedoes. Yeah, so he's got me if I'm going to go full speed to try to escape. I hit the brakes wisely and don't do that. And it looks like he's still coming around, and yeah, that Pommern got taken out as he was coming around the island is what I was getting ready to say. So now it's just the Alaska. He's got the radar on so he can see me. And we are up to 112,000 damage. We've got the 3rd stage of the epic boost activated, and it's just mano-y-mano. So I'm going to wait behind the island a little bit here. And then I realize that I think that I have a lot more health than the Alaska, and the Tulsa is supposed to the armor is supposed to ricochet 15-inch and smaller shells. So I start going for it, and I'm going to push that and see how well that really works out. These guns reload way faster than the Alaska guns, and once we close in on him and it's just my main guns versus the Alaska's main guns, it is not really going to be close because we just overwhelmed the Alaska with overwhelming firepower. And here I'm just waiting and I'm kind of thinking about it. All right, so now I've decided to just go for it and take out the Alaska. As I said, the armor should hold up, and I've completed my calculations, and I think I can take this guy on, and it's going to be all good. So here I'm going to full speed, and we are just going to do it. So that's the plan here. Is we're just going to go in and kind of like a jousting match, I guess. We are just going to go in here. We're going to be careful not to go completely broadside. So here I'm turning to make sure I can get a good angle on him. And then I'm going to turn back into him so I don't give him a complete broadside and just try to keep angled. And there he does start dinging us a little bit, but now you can see the overwhelming firepower, and that is the rate that the main guns are firing. And I'm trying to maintain an angle to keep all three guns on the Alaska and not give him my complete broadside is what the plan is. And at this point, I do think the HE shells would cause more damage than the armor piercing. Now that he's going to give me the broadside, I've switched over to armor piercing, and we're just going to take this guy out right here. That is a perfect shot, and he is gone. All right, well, there you go. That was a big-time victory for the Tulsa. 562,000 credits, 135,000 battle performance total damage on 140 main gun hits, a couple detected ships, 2 destroyed ships, 8 fires we set with 3 citadels, 13 defended flags, first blood medal, and look at all those ribbons. That is quite a result. Since I was running the epic boosters, look at all the XP and Commander XP and Global XP that we acquired just from a big time match and the victory. So let's check out the team results, see how we did. Whoa, 2,800 XP, first place overall. That is a great match in a truncated match with only 5 ships per side. I didn't really expect that this match was going to go that well, but I will definitely take it. I thought the match was a lot of fun, especially to test the Tulsa versus the Alaska one-on-one like that. I thought that was an awesome example of what the Tulsa can do compared to an Alaska because of the Alaska's slow main gun reload. All right, let's check out the economy tab. 391,000 credits by the time it was all said and done, and that is a great accumulation of silver credits at the end of a tier 8 match. So tier 7 is normally the money maker, but tier 8 is where we're at here with the Tulsa. So that's it for the Tulsa and the epic mod there on slot 4 with Einstein as commander. You can check out some of the skills and see what historical commander would work for you. I have Scott maxed out, and I don't think that was really the way to go. So it does seem like Einstein is the way to go, especially with the traverse speed and the main gun reload and the ability to see where the other targets are at. So for 2,500 doubloons, if you're going to play every day and complete the campaign, you can't go wrong. Let me know what you think down below. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like it.